the key approaches to sustainable development. We have quite an interesting panel. We have 5 developers from 5 different areas. There's a last edition, Mark Scott from Grenada. They have a project called Mount Cinnamon. It used to be called Cinnamon Hill. So, Your Excellencies, Member of the Parliament, dear friends, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, sustainable development has been defined in many ways, but the most frequently definition could be development that meets the needs of the present without compromising ability of future generation and their needs. To have a sustainable future, of course, we must have a precondition is that's today, projects today. And that's what we have lined up for you, individuals that have their projects. Among our panelists, we have among them developers who are currently building, we have developers who have built and are starting new projects, and we have those who are planning to do so. In the context of this summit, and particularly having 5 well-known CBI real estate projects developers with us, we must ask them how they have incorporated this concept of sustainability into their projects. And by doing so, we will also look beyond the environmental angles of these projects and should also look at job creations, eco-employments, eco-finance and returns, eco-material, effects on tourism, and how these projects will put your countries or your regions on the world's map. Further, your CIU units, Citizen Investment Units, needs to establish strict norms and conditions as to how much applicants' money must actually stay or be invested in these in your local economies, because at the end, what we are trying to achieve here is to help you, not just your needs today, but also your needs tomorrow and the year after and the years following, and so on. In the last days, I've visited many projects on the island, and I'm not very impressed with some, because I'm not sure if they ever operate, they're going to be efficient and they're actually going to bring the high-end tourism that you anticipate. So let's just move into it. Nigel, you're an engineer. What are the issues promoters must consider when developing your projects? What would you enumerate?
Thanks, Sam. I'm an architect, and well, we normally look at sensitive design. That's the first thing. And of course, eco-employment opportunities and potential, efficient eco-master planning and organization. I would say that when I see my clients, I would first like to find out what type of projects they've done or track record, for example. And sustainable materials, critical, and of course, the potential for technology transfer, because sustainability is all about employment for locals and the bioregion, empowering the bioregion.
Okay, that's it? So
for now.
For now. So we add on to it. So let's go to Jungle Bay, because you guys in Dominica, you have your project. It's been there. Now you are extending a phase into it. How you would consider, or have you considered these issues in your project?
Yeah, certainly have, but I think it's only fair that I give the audience a little background of why I was invited here. And it's that I'm the developer of Jungle Bay. We are the first successfully completed CBI real estate hotel project in the Caribbean. We got approval from the government of Dominica 20 years ago. Actually, it was 1998. We commenced construction August 2000. It took us 5 years to build because CBI wasn't as developed as it is now. We opened in 2005, and we have operated successfully economically. We've made a profit every year, including 2008, 2009, and 10 when the market collapsed. And we've been rated, I think our most important rating was a TripAdvisor that ranked us the #2 hotel in the entire Caribbean. So that's the platform from which I speak to this audience. And it's really encouraging to see the incorporation of the issue of sustainability in the CBI discussion, because I had a traumatic experience yesterday. when someone told me, and I pretended like it didn't bother me, but I was speaking to an agent, and he was interested in, one of our villas for his client. We do freehold villas at our new development. And he said, without talking to you, to be honest with you, I had decided not to even look at CBI properties in the Caribbean and just do donation because I don't think they have any value. And as a Caribbean person, that tells me that maybe we're doing a serious disservice to our investment climate down the road with some of these unsustainable CBI developments. So I'll go into your question. Well, I think the incorporation comes in a number of levels. One, you, as a developer, you just so happen to be a developer, but you really have a vision and an ongoing business concern that you're trying to get to. So the development is just a phase. So developments can't be on front-end money-making only. And by the time you're ready to open, by the time you get to the wedding ceremony, which is really when you open, you're not successful yet. It's just the wedding because you have to live 60 years with this person, right? So you can't even get there. And by the time you get there, you've already taken everything out and there's really nothing, no thought, no plan. How are you going to get your clients to this destination? What about your operation? Do you really have a strong, do you really have a niche market? Is it a viable operation on so many levels? And so this is where on the environment we've received, of course, those who know Jungle Bay, we got the World Savary Award for Condé Nast. We got the Virgin Responsible Tourism Award because of sustainable stewardship of the environment. We are luxury ecotourism, so that maybe puts us in a different position there with the environment. We offer wellness, yoga, and that sort of thing. In terms of the community, it is about really building the community and the economic development of the community. That's really the byproduct of it. So,
thank you, Mohammed. I'm staying at your hotel. It's really nice. But how would you follow up on what Samuel was saying? I mean, you guys are you've developed Parkhead. You're almost nearly completing your Kempinski project. So how would you situate sustainability within your frame of mind? He was talking about your vision. What's your vision?
So Sam, I think sustainability is key with any development. And I think what my fellow panelists just said is absolutely spot on. The minute you open the hotels, you don't kind of clap your hands and disappear. Okay, if you want to do that, go and build something else, go and build some apartments. Don't come into the hotel business because that's the minute your challenges happen. If you're going to open a hotel in December, in this part of the world, 16 months out, your general manager needs to be on site. 6 months out, you need to have what? 40, 50 people working, depending on the size of your hotel, if you have a total complement of 300 staff. All right, so that's a key thing. It's not just about putting up bricks, selling a whole bunch of passports, trying to put up a structure, sending some nice pictures out. This is a business. A hotel is a business. And it needs to be nurtured. You need to get your clients. You need to manage service levels. It's a whole different ball game. And I think this conference gives everybody a chance to go around and see that. I mean, when we opened the Park Hyatt St. Kitts here, okay, for 18 months we were working with the hospitality school, okay, to make sure we got the right level of service and staffing. We'll next week be announcing the appointment of our general manager in Dominica. That's 14 months out. He'll be there next week. And thereafter, the entire team will be coming. I mean, 6 months out, 7 months out, you need as many hotel workers on site or top team managers as you do engineers. I mean, that's just the way this business is.
Eric, you guys have been running Four Seasons, the oldest five-star here in the Federation, and you guys are planning expansion. How would you situate this sustainability?
Full disclosure, Sam, we develop the private residences. We don't operate the hotel.
Okay.
But I can share with you a few statistics about the hotel. As Sam said, it has been open for 27 years. They employ 600 Nevisians on a daily basis. In addition to that, as the developer, we've recently completed construction of a $30 million villa that was purchased for citizenship by investment. We employed approximately 120 people a day for the last year of that project. To this day, There are 10 people on site daily maintaining that house. They are local Nevisians. When we bring new materials, concepts, designs to the island, we typically hire the supplier of those materials to come down for 2 weeks to train local Nevisians on how to use that process for future building and construction. And at the end of that 2-week period, we donate the tools to those suppliers. As a developer on Nevis, having built 81 homes over 27 years and $500 million of real estate, $500 million built by Nevisians on Nevis, if you go look at photos from the Four Seasons 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and today, our biggest challenge is parking, because those people are now buying cars, they have money, they are able to create economies for themselves. As a developer of Four Seasons, we also participate directly in projects for sustainable energy. The geothermal project on Nevis is about to get a $60 million investment. They will start with 10 megawatts of power, and we hope to deliver it to St. Kitts. They actually believe that their second investment phase will, a $5 million transmission line will deliver power to the island of St. Kitts. We'll see if that happens. On the island of Nevis, we also support recycling efforts. Just 2 months ago, Enclave Resources is now bundling up and crushing cars at a level of 500 tons a week and shipping it back to the United States. We lent our logistical and technical support. We also sold them equipment, which does benefit us to another degree, but we're there to support anyone doing sustainability. So to address all those concerns that you all have talked about, we've been doing it, we continue to do it, and I have to agree with the rest of the panel. I mean, these are businesses that are ongoing. It's not a last hurrah. The Four Seasons Resort Nevis is about to put a $70 million investment into it. The hotel room renovations will start in a week and a half. I invite all of you to come by the hotel and look at the new hotel room. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it'll be a multi-phase, multi-year renovation, but the hotel can speak better to that.
Thank you. Mark, you guys are been running your Mont Cinnamon in Grenada now for over 20, 25 years now, and you're planning an extension. How could you, again, build this sustainability in your projects?
Sure. Thank you, Sam. Well, the company, we've been in the hotel business for about 40 years, and I've been with them for 25 of those years, building hotels around the world. We moved to Grenada actually 12 years ago, bought Mount Cinnamon and opened it 10 years ago. At that time, it was a completely derelict property. It did have some history of trading, but it was completely derelict. So we had to do a full renovation of it. This was before we got into the CBI business. CBI is quite new to us. We used to finance through more traditional means, but about 3 years ago, we entered the CBI market as a means of generating more money to expand the project.
Yeah, but sustainability.
The sustainability, yeah.
That's what we want to hear.
Sure. So in order to sustain
job creation.
Yeah. So we currently, we're only a 30-room hotel, much smaller than the other people here on the panels, but we are growing through the CBI project. We are building more rooms, which makes it more economically viable and obviously creates more jobs. So at the moment, we employ 3 people per room. So we have about 90 staff on site at the moment. And as we add more bedrooms, we'll be adding more staff to the complement.
Mr. Walter. Thank you. Welcome. I've passed in front of your project, and it was not very much. I didn't see too much activities. When are you guys planning? Hello. 1, 2. When you guys are planning to complete your project and start operations?
Yes, and I think maybe our project now is the biggest under construction project in St. Kitts and Nevis. Now we, just like you said, and what is our plan? I mean, to develop the hotel and to be let it to be a sustainable development. Now, St. Kitts' economy is very well now because according to the GDP and IMF fund, I mean, calculation, everything is good. So now, as for hotel, and the most important is that you have to have your clients, I mean, customer coming. According to, I mean, everybody asking me the same question. And why, I mean, you guys doing a lot of hotels, and why, how can you let the people come in to visit your hotel? That's a good question. But according to our plan, so this is why I told them, we should have more, I mean, value-added service to them. We are not to provide, I mean, just room to let them to lie on the bed and enjoy the food. And no, that is not, I mean, maybe such as all-inclusive, I mean, hotels, maybe it's not very good. And for the accept that, and we are going to provide more value-added service. For example, just like I said in my presentation, We are going to have the body examination, and for example, and where project is in the northern part of island, we are going to, to make it as the center of the town, and then to attract more people from Eusters and some bar, or even we can, make that place as a center, radiate all the economic influence to the other islands. As for example,
that's all
like,
good, but if you want to move on, question was, how many jobs are you going to create? When are you going to finish your project?
Yes, once we are planning
answer.
to finish, okay, well, I can answer your question directly.
Yes.
And we can finish the project end of this year, finish the construction.
And
we are
operation?
planning to, yeah, phase 1, we can finish that.
No, but finish phase 1, when would phase 1
And
be
then we will start
operation?
phase 2 immediately.
And operation of phase 1? When
Yeah,
is that?
before
When are we
the
gonna
middle of
be able
next
to have
year.
a drink in your hotel?
Yes, of course, and we will
When?
invite everybody, all our customers, and the friends, and coming to, to celebrate our opening. Definitely, this is my announcement. And also for our future is, plan, we will do more projects, not only in St. Kitts, and also we are trying to do more projects in the Caribbean community.
Thank you. Mohammed, I mentioned that the CIUs need to establish stricter norms and conditions for construction, money management. Any thought on that? You've completed one. How did you find that rigorous control on you? How are you building, how are you managing your money? Or the money we give or the applicants give to you?
I think I'm going to deviate from your question slightly just because I have the microphone
okay.
and I have that prerogative. There's two things you need. One is control on the quality of your development, and next is the money. This regional organization, great start, great first 2 years, great getting your MOUs in, everyone kind of trying to conform on pricing. But you know what, guys? Let's also now get some qualified people within the CIUs, some people who know how to walk around buildings, count the number of workers, read drawing plans, read all of this, and impose some discipline amongst the developers. You have a responsibility as Caribbean citizens who are going to live here for the rest of your lives to make sure you have lovely, beautiful projects with maximum bang for your buck. You are selling your vital commodity, which is citizenship. You need to make sure you have maximizing the social impact with that. You maximize the number of laborers. There's no need to import construction laborers. There's people here who need jobs. There's no need to have, I think it needs a bigger round of applause than that,
Yes.
Okay? You need to have local individuals working in that hotel. I'll say to my colleague here, my colleague at Four Seasons, in a few years' time, we want to have the top tier of management staff from the relevant island. And that's the knowledge transfer. That's what needs to happen. And that's what a responsible developer, and I have some good responsible developers on this panel, need to ensure that happens. And in that way, CBI will be protected by the individuals of St. Kitts and Nevis and the relevant islands. As to money transfer, Sam, that's a whole different ballgame. That money of that investor needs to protect it because the CBIUs may not have a legal responsibility, but they certainly have a moral responsibility to ensure these projects get completed. And more so, you don't want a whole bunch of angry customers standing up in your island and in your office saying, hang on, where's this piece of land I bought? It's not there. Or where's this house I bought? It's not there. You have to have happy customers to get more happy customers.
Samuel, how is it in Dominica?
Maybe you're just all hungover the first time from last night.
No, but how is it in Dominica about norms and money management? To ensure, because I like to see as much as the money being...
Sam, Dominica is an interesting scenario. First, I'd like to say that we have achieved what you just talked about, in that we were the number 2 resort as far as TripAdvisor is concerned, and we only had 1 non-Dominican on staff. 1. And so all management. And I think that's what ultimately this is about. But Dominica's program, I think, learned a little from some of the others. So one of the things that, fortunately, Dominica has done, they've restricted the number of CBI developments. So now they only have 5. Yes. And they're waiting for me to open so someone else can take my spot.
You are so lucky.
So I think that's good. Also, Dominica has set a $40,000 commission threshold to pay agents. There's been a run on agent commission in CBI projects.
3 days ago, yes.
It's just gotten out of control. And the only reason you need to pay 50% commission to sell something is because you're selling, and I wouldn't use the word up here, as to, I think people understand. But
maybe you're not going to finish it.
oh, yeah, you'll finish it.
I can say it.
So I think they've said that for, indeed, some of the developers may be trying to circumvent that, but at least they're making, I think, a diligent effort in Dominica. All the funds coming in for the project also, I don't get that money. That money goes into a government-controlled escrow, and they are the ones, after their engineer, not my engineer, send the payment request, their engineer have to certify for me to get every dollar. So they've done everything, I think, in Dominica's context to protect the investors, and I think that's where we should start.
Okay. In the same context, I think, well, I think there's a learning curve here because there has been a lot of mishaps, a few mishaps here, because if you go around the island, you can see some projects which are not completed and actually no one's working on it. And I think Dominica, having so few developers, must learn and to establish norms, money management. And I think other islands that don't have these projects, like St. Lucia, they need to learn about what not to do rather than what to do. And that's easy. Mohammed?
You know, as I understand, the CBIU, they do a look back on customers and check if citizenship should still be, or they take any actions. I think the CBIU heads should do a look back on developments to make sure that those are still viable and pull development positions if people don't deliver within a certain number of years.
Good suggestion.
I love it.
Mark, you guys don't have too many projects. Are you going to learn from others or what not to do?
Yeah, well, I certainly hope we do. I think as a country, we need to learn from it. We do have some now that are detracting business from the more viable projects. So we have currently 3 under development that I think are all good bona fide projects that deserve to be there and are doing it the right way. But there are several approved already that really perhaps shouldn't be there, that just divert funds away from the developers who are really trying to get the job done. So yeah, we would support more management from the government.
Mr. Walter, working here on St. Kitts, developing your project, how do you think these two concepts, control of norms and money management, how much is it hindering your work? How difficult they are with you? Are they making your life difficult?
Well, thanks, Sam. Finally, you remember me. Well, actually,
I go around.
I think for the cash flow, yes. We have them we have some words to see. Well, because the topic is sustainable development, yes. Everybody is depending on the CBI program to develop a start project. As for our company, we always use our own fund to start project. We are not mainly dependent on the CBI program.
Yes.
So I think this in the future, I hope that every Caribbean country will not mainly depend on CBI program to accelerate or inspire the economy.
Very good.
I hope that now the Caribbean country could use the CBI program fund as kind of to establish an ecosystem and automatically to stir the economy. That's very important.
Thank you. Well,
thank you.
As I said yesterday, I think we don't have enough applicants. The market is much bigger than it is that we are processing, and there ought to be many more projects, many more applicants into the project. We have about 6 minutes left. I'm going to open the floor for a few questions. So if you have a question, we're going to let you ask your question. Please come to the micro, please, sir. Or you want someone bring him the micro? So we're going to ask the questions, and after that, 3-4 questions, and we'll answer them. Next person could get ready. Good morning, or good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Sam, you asked some questions that I wanted to ask, but I'll direct my questions to the Galaxy gentleman. How many workers do you have on your site now? And how many of them are local?
Yes.
How
many questions you have?
I have several. You want me to ask all at once?
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Okay.
I'm going to write them down.
Yeah. How many workers do you have on site now? And how many of them are local? You spoke about you being a high-end hotel. Is Ramada in a high-end brand? Not as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
But maybe they're doing a special branding in this country. I'm not sure of that.
Number 3.
When did you start your project? Why has it taken so long? And do you believe that the $100,000 commissions that some agents get compromise the quality of the product in our country and create problems for it in terms of resale down the road? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, I have here 4 questions. Question number 1, how many workers are working on your site at the moment and how many of them are Kititians?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sam. And thank you, this gentleman. I always saw your face on newspaper. And yeah.
Well, it's a good day. It's a good day.
And so the question is very critical. Let me answer your question. Well, now we have around 60, workers. Now we have 25, around that number, because that is flexible.
So about half-half.
Yes,
half of the workers are Kititians. Question number 2. Ramada being a high-end hotel, is it a high-end hotel? Well, in my country, Canada, that's a 3-star, 3.5-star.
Yes, yes.
I don't know, in St. Kitts, maybe it's different.
Well, because, so this is why, this question could be related to another question, is that what is sustainable? Because, for example, if you cite, according to our market research, for example, like in here, now how many flights from American to here?
About 2 a day, I think, 2
yes.
3 days. Yeah.
And so, well, if we have 10 airplanes from American to here, and of course we can, no problem, and we can have more high-end brand.
But we have high ends. We have Four Seasons, Top, Park Hyatt.
They are the big, the crocodile, and they attract a lot of them, high-end customers. And what we should do? We cannot have, a lot of the hotels. We can provide, the different layers for the different customers, right?
Well, let's move to the next question because this is highly debatable. Some people like Ramada more than the Five Seasons.
Sam, if I may just interject, and then I'll take my seat.
Please, yes.
Did you say you have 25 workers on site now?
Flexible. No, 60, half of them local, so 30-30.
So you said your first phase is 300 rooms.
Yes.
What do you have completed? And with the worker complement you have on site now, is it realistic to say that you'll be finished with phase 1 by December?
My friend, this, as I promised, representation, and we are trying to finish that before end of this year. We are the most efficient developers on this island. We just start project, real start, from the end of, beginning of 2016.
I had 800 people on my site 6 months.
We will not use that. We will not use that for 80 years. We've never spent 80 years to finish hotel. That's too ridiculous, right?
How long did you queue, Mohammed, to finish your Park Hyatt, to start and finish?
We started construction.
With all the problems you had.
We started construction in the middle of 2014. Every jurisdiction has different operating environments. At peak labor, 6 months before, we were 800 people working 2 shifts a day. So, my friend at Four Seasons talked about the villa. How many people did you have in sight for one villa?
We had 200 at one time on a daily basis for about 6 months, but we averaged about 125.
That's a lot of job employment, yes.
It's a mini hotel. It's a mini hotel.
Those are big houses. Yes. Let's go to the last question the gentleman asked about commissions. This is something...
Excuse me, may I make some clarification?
Yes.
Yes. And actually we start, I just came here on January 6th of 2014. And then we are going to do, deliver all procedure and documents to get approval. We just start project, in very short time. So I've never thought that why the people just focus me and use, the exaggerator, to see us and to find some problem. Well, I think that we are all developers. Why we do like that, you're right? And we are going to finish project before end of this year. And then we'll open to the hotel before end of, in the next year, mid of the June. That is our deadline.
Thank you. Well, you gentlemen are the champions. You are creating jobs, you're creating tourism, you're stimulating the economy here. You should be praised, and thank you very much. I cannot say thank you on behalf of the Kittians, but if I was one, I'll be happy to see you guys, the work you're doing, the job you're creating, and making sure this area is prospering, not today, but also in the future. Thank you very much for your participation. I think our time is out, so thank you again.
Thank you.